Hey everyone, and welcome back to the AWS Nordics office hours with me, Gunnar Grosch, developer advocate here at AWS. And this is my weekly show where I bring on AWS experts to talk about specific topics and let you, our viewers, learn and hopefully get your questions answered throughout this hour. And this week, I'm very happy to be joined by Firdousi Begum. Welcome to the show, Firdousi.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gunnar. And
Tell people a bit about yourself.
Yeah, I can give a very short introduction. So my name is Firdousi, and I'm solutions architect at AWS. And in my role, basically, I help AWS customers in the enterprise segment around Nordics. And I support them in driving their business innovation and kickstarting their digital transformation journey using various modern cloud technology and solutions. In fact, lately I have been doing a lot of deep dive into modern data-driven strategy and architectures to help customers get like that value from their data.
Yeah, and on the show this week, we're going to talk about business intelligence, but not just any type of business intelligence. It's going to be machine learning powered business intelligence. So perhaps, Firdousi, tell us, why do we need machine learning powered BI?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Why machine learning? So I truly believe that technology is something that should make our life simpler, solving both our current needs, but also adapting to the future needs. And in order to create such long-running sustainable solutions, we need to be relentless about seeking truth and making more informed decisions. And in order to be able to do that, we can use machine learning powered business intelligence to harness that power of data and transform it into more consumable information and smarter insights in order to generate that business and customer value that we are looking for.
And how do companies then make sure that they're utilizing the data correctly to be able to get those important insights that you mentioned?
Yeah, so we all can agree that there has been this like a huge digitalization going on around us, right? And with the speed of digitalization, and especially the unforeseen circumstances that we have seen around pandemic, we all can evidently say that there is like much more data that has been created in last 2 years than in all the history. But in spite of having such huge amount of data, do you think that customers have much more insights than they had before? Do you think that?
Probably not.
Yeah, not really, because they're having this hard time finding those important insights from data in order to make better decisions. And with the introduction of cloud computing, we all know that processing and analyzing these large volumes of data have become much more easier and also cost effective. So now, as a result, we see that there is going to be this like huge wave of reinvention coming in the industry, which will be driven by data. And as a result, creating a data culture and a data-driven organization is imperative to stay relevant now and also in the future.
Yeah, and I think we hear that every now and then, data-driven organizations. But what does a data-driven organization look like then?
Yes, interesting. I mean, this is something that I very often see that, if you look at the companies now, they are really moving towards data-driven organization. And there are basically three aspects of a data-driven organization. The first one is that the data-driven organizations seek truth by treating their data as an organizational asset instead of property of individual departments, as you do today. And then they use different systems in order to collect, store, analyze, and make this data securely available to anyone who needs it and whenever they need it. It can be either a person or systems. And the third point is that they use technologies like machine learning in order to unlock new value from data, such as, let's say, creating new products, generating new business revenue streams, or even creating this like state-of-the-art customer experience for their end users.
Yeah, go ahead.
it's not easy to do that, creating data. I mean, there are a lot of different challenges. But yes, so some of the challenges, I mean, I don't know, Gunnar, how have you seen some challenges in this area from your customer? Have you heard some challenges before?
Well, I think it's quite common to hear about different challenges in becoming data driven. Everyone wants to become data driven, I think, but understanding that data, a lot of companies are creating lots and lots of data, but being able to understand that data and actually make use of it, I think that's the main challenge for most companies.
Yes, and the reason why there are challenges is basically the traditional BI tools that the companies are using today. So some of the challenges that we see with these traditional BI tools is that most of the BI tools are server-based. So what happens is when the organizations or companies want to scale out the analytics to their organization, it gets really difficult because it's all server-based. And also, a lot of time when you do like buy versus build, these tools lack these advanced features of machine learning that you need in order to, get those insights from your data. And in fact, for machine learning to have that impact that you want it to have, it has to get easier to do than what's provided out there by the tools. And another challenge that I often hear from my customers is that most of the BI solutions come with this minimum licensing requirements around users or servers. I mean, think about the time when you have to make this difficult business justification in order to purchase additional licenses. And so it's not very easy to democratize your data and analytics for your organization to have that visibility and access whenever they need it. Whereas with Amazon QuickSight, our business intelligence platform, it can easily cater to all these challenges and also provide the analytics for different user personas in the organization. It can be a data scientist, data engineers, machine learning, or even business stakeholders and analysts.
So yeah, I believe you have a slide for us to show, Firdousi, to show some of the capabilities with QuickSight.
Yep. Yeah, so firstly, Amazon QuickSight is the first analytics platform built for the cloud. It is serverless and so a scalable BI platform that allows you to truly empower everyone in the organization with advanced analytical capabilities. And some of the capabilities that QuickSight provides is, the first one is, it allows you to enhance your dashboard with its inbuilt machine learning powered capabilities. And these machine learning powered capabilities can be utilized requiring no prior machine learning expertise at all. And then you can scale out these smart insights and analytics to everyone in your organization because it is serverless and you can easily scale from 10 to hundreds of users without having to worry about the servers. Another benefit that you get with QuickSight is that it is natively integrated to the rest of the AWS. And with AWS, you already have security and compliance, auditing, centralized permissions management, and so on. In fact, it is also deeply integrated to majority of our data stack, such as our data warehouse, Amazon Redshift, our data lake, or even purpose-built data stores, relational stores such as Aurora, and so on. You can also connect it to various third-party providers, actually, third-party software providers. We will see that in our demo in a while. And you can also embed this rich analytical capability into your own web application and mobile application using one-click embedding solutions. Now, a lot of time, what I hear from my customers is that they not only use QuickSight for their internal analytics, but also a lot of times they scale this analytics to their end users and customers to provide that added value benefit. And you can easily do that using this embedding capability. And finally, it is very cost-effective to use QuickSight because QuickSight comes with pay-as-you-go pricing for your readers, which is capped up to a maximum of $5 per month. And important thing to note here is that you are only paying for active usage, not for inactive usage. So our customers end up, doing a huge cost savings, and at the same time being able to democratize the analytics to everyone. And these are some of the differentiation that our customers say they look for when they are doing their modernization journey in the BI. Have you heard about something, Gunnar, from your side, if these features are something that your customers also look for?
Well, one of the things, and I think you'll cover that later on, is the using natural language. I know that for sure business users or the ordinary user likes that feature of being able to ask questions using natural language. And myself, I think that's a really cool feature as well with QuickSight. But of course, based on the topic of the day, I'm super interested in hearing more about the machine learning capabilities of QuickSight. So maybe, and I can promise the viewers, we're not going to spend too much time on slides. We'll move into the demo part soon. But
yeah,
let's just look at the machine learning capabilities.
Yeah, so just to give a quick overview about these capabilities, and we'll go right hands on. So there are different capabilities, starting with anomaly detection. So using anomaly detection, you can find out deviations in your data. So you can find like something that is not ordinary, or it doesn't look right. And then we have a forecasting feature that allows you to predict future key metrics with just point and click simplicity, requiring no machine learning expertise. And then we also have the auto narrative feature. And using this auto narrative feature, you can easily summarize your dashboards. So usually your dashboards have charts and these visuals like bar charts, line charts, but sometimes it can get really difficult to understand. And so using auto narrative feature, you can easily summarize that data in plain language, and you don't have to spend hours just to understand visualization. And apart from this inbuilt machine learning capabilities, you can also bring your own machine learning predictions or models from Amazon SageMaker. Now, for who does not know Amazon SageMaker is our managed machine learning platform that allows you to build, train, and deploy your own machine learning models on QuickSight. And lastly, of course, your favorite, Gunnar, is that you can ask questions using natural language and get instant answers using our QuickSight Q feature. So let me go ahead and show a demo of first how do you add these inbuilt machine learning insights to QuickSight. And in order to do that, I will consider a scenario so that it's easier to understand how you can apply those. So let's say there's this fictitious software company called Ambient Technologies who have a mission to improve customer experience and double the sales next year. And let's say you are a sales director who is planning the sales strategy next year and having hard time finding those important customer insights on the dashboards. And let's see how you can add those insights to the dashboard easily. Before I go ahead and show you how to add them, let's look at the demo dashboard that I have created. So this is a demo dashboard for a fictitious company that shows monthly sales performance. And here you can already see that it looks different than the traditional dashboards. There are a lot of natural language-based narrative here on the dashboard that you can easily share with your business executives so they can read and immediately understand what's going on. And if you see here, number 1, number 2, and number 3, these 3 insights are powered by inbuilt machine learning capability. So for example, the chart here shows the monthly sales for our company, profit and sales. And the orange line here shows the forward prediction for profit and sales. Similarly, the tile here is the auto narrative feature. So basically here you can see that the forecast is in plain natural language. So you can easily read what's happening. And then the tile here basically has identified deviations in sales for customer and country. So it identified the anomalies. The anomalies can be, a spike in sales or a dip in sales. We'll come back to this later, but this is how a demo dashboard looks like. Now, let's say you want to add these by yourself. And in order to do that, we will use a data set, a sales data set, which basically contains a list of orders or software orders placed by customers all around the world, like different countries, city, region, and sub-region. And we will bring this data set into our QuickSight. So in order to do that, you come into the QuickSight console, and on the left side, there are different menus, like dashboards is where you have published all your dashboards. Analysis is from where you create new dashboards or author your dashboards. And dataset is where you basically import or connect different data sets. So let's go ahead and click on new dataset. And here you can see that Amazon QuickSight can connect to various different data sources, like in AWS, or it can also be third-party commercial databases. Like here you can see Salesforce, ServiceNow, and so on. And for now, I will upload my CSV file for our demo purpose. And here I have uploaded the CSV file. I click on Edit Settings and Prepare Data. So when I do that, on the left side here, it shows me all the different fields that are available in my data set. And from here, you can decide if you want to format your field, change the name or description, or even exclude some fields if you don't need it. And after that, here you can also apply some filters at the bottom. One thing that you should note is that query mode here at the bottom. It shows that the query mode is Spice. Now, what is Spice? Spice is QuickSight's in-memory calculation engine. So when you connect to a data source, especially now I've uploaded the CSV, so it's uploaded into this memory. But if you use a data source connection to a database, then you have two different modes that you can select from. The one mode is that you do a direct query. So every time your end user is reloading their dashboard, it will run a direct query against the source and get you the updated data on the dashboard. This is really good, but it can get really expensive if you have like thousands of users using your dashboards, like say, so many times during the day. It can get really expensive, and it can also have some performance impact on your actual data source. So the another option is that you bring your data into the Spice engine so that it can improve the query performance, and also especially in machine learning, it can be much faster to run machine learning on top of your data, and you can schedule this data refresh. It can be hourly, daily, or monthly. So these are two different modes that you can select from.
Can you maybe talk a bit about the type of data sources you can have? So this was a manually uploaded CSV file, but I'm guessing customers are using many different ways of importing that data or using data sources.
Yeah, so the data sources can be, like I mentioned, either many different data sources in AWS. It can be a data warehouse, which is our Amazon Redshift. It could be connecting to the data lake or the data that you have stored in Amazon S3, right? And it can also be these purpose-built data sources like Amazon Aurora, and also third-party commercial databases. Like let's say you have your Salesforce system and you want to bring that data and perform some analytics on QuickSight, or ServiceNow, or Jira ticketing, for example. So you can connect to all these different. In fact, you can also connect to your on-prem data sources from QuickSight.
Great.
Yeah. So once you have formatted your data set, and let's say everything looks good, you go ahead and click on Save and Publish. If somebody else will create the dashboard for you, but in our case, since we are going to create the dashboard, I'll just go ahead and click Publish and Visualize. So when I do that, it brings me to the authoring console of QuickSight. And here on the left side, I can see the data set that is connected to my dashboard. And then here I can see all the different fields in my data set and different visual types that I can select from. And these can be bar chart, donut chart, or even geospatial chart. And in fact, you can also bring your own custom visual content from the URL. So let's say now that you want to forecast the monthly sales for this fictitious software company. So let's go ahead and add line chart. And since our data sets has a daily granularity of sales, what we'll do is for our time field or x-axis here, we'll select order date and we will change the aggregation to month. So we can look at the monthly sales trend. And of course, from value, it would be sales information that we are interested in. And now let's say, so here on the top, it shows all the fields you have selected. Now, in order to add the forecast, you just have to click on the context menu and say add forecast. And it will immediately add this orange line at the end. And here, if you see, it gives you the upper bound and lower bound for your prediction. So you have this band of prediction. And by default, if you see on the left side forecast properties, it predicts 14 period forward. So in our case, 14 months forward. You can also add backward prediction to your data. So let's say I want to see 5 months back. I'll tell you why in a while. So I'll just apply this. So if you see here, now the backward prediction is added. So it's very interesting because with the backward prediction, you can actually see how close the forecast was to your actual sales. And then accordingly, you can select the prediction interval. So prediction interval is basically how wide or narrow your prediction band should be. So let's say if you want to have an overstock of your items, you can have more wider band. And if you want to have an understock of your items, then you will have more narrow band. And here is seasonality. So it allows you to predict on multiple levels of seasonality. So for example, you want to forecast business revenue on both quarterly and monthly trends. So you can add that seasonality here. For now, I'll keep it automatic.
Let me just ask a question on that periods backwards, just to make sure that I understand it. So that shows how QuickSight would have predicted that period based on the data, the historic data.
Yes, exactly. That's what it says. So that's how you know how close your prediction is, or the forecasting is to your actual sales. Right. And accordingly, you can adjust the band here or something like that to get very closer to your actual sales in the prediction. Apart from this, so this is how forecasting. You can add, the next part is adding the auto narrative. So like I mentioned, that auto narrative basically does machine learning on the visuals on your dashboard, and then provides a number of suggested insights based on those visuals in natural language narrative. So for example, in this case, I select this chart, and then you go ahead and click on Insights menu on the left. And immediately you will see a lot of natural language-based insights, which is based on this visual. So you can see highest month sale, month-over-month sales, lowest month sales, and so on. And you can easily add these insights by clicking the plus sign here to your dashboard. And these insights are completely customizable, so you can create your own natural language narrative. In order to do that, you click on Context menu and say Customize Narrative. This will open up an editor. And here you can see editor on the top and a live preview at the bottom. And you can see that there are a lot of different computation fields used. So in our case, since we were looking at highest month sales, it already has added maximum computation for us. But let's say you want to also understand the lowest month sales. So you can add more computations by clicking on Add Computation. And let's say I select minimum. Next. It's a monthly sales trend we are looking for. Add. Now, if you see, there's more than one computation added, and I can use those computations to create my narrative. I can also use some parameters or inbuilt functions to further customize them. And one more interesting thing is you can, in fact, add conditional if statements and for statements in your narrative to further enhance them. Of course, you can also, format your narrative with different colors and all to make it more, visual with the if condition, and you can immediately see the live preview here. And once you're happy with how it looks and how it sounds, you can go ahead and click on Save button. And it will add the auto narrative on the dashboard for you.
It's cool.
Yes. So we did forecasting, auto narrative. The next inbuilt machine learning insight is anomaly detection. So anomaly detection, as I mentioned, identifies the time series trends in your data and spots the value that has deviated outside an expected range. So let's say in this case, you want to be informed about the deviation in your customer sales. So you want to get notified of those deviations whenever they occur, when there is a high spike in sales or even dip in sales. So in order to do that, you click on add and say add insight. And here from the drop down, you can select anomaly detection, which is a machine learning powered insight. Note how you can also add the custom narrative directly from here as well, if you want to create your own narrative and don't want the suggested insight. So you can also do it from here. But let's go ahead and select anomaly detection. It just shows a preview of how it will look like. Select. And here at the bottom, it has now added this chart for us. Now, here, I need to first add some fields. So here you can see it says that it needs a dimension and time field, right? So here I have my field wells. Of course, in time, I'm looking for monthly sales deviation. So I'll go ahead and add order date, and I will change the granularity to month. The next thing is you're looking for deviation in sales. So I go ahead and get sales in my value. And let's say you want to look for deviation in customer and country sales. So you add those as dimensions. And once done, you will get this Get Started button. And when you click on it, you will be taken down to a configuration screen. So here you can see all the different fields that will be analyzed. And in combinations to be analyzed, when you hover over this I sign, it will show you all the different combinations of fields that will be analyzed in order to find deviations in your data. And here you can see by default, it will show top 3 anomalies with the medium and above severity. So severity is basically how much spike or dip in deviations of sales you are interested in. And finally, in contributors, let's say whenever there is a deviation in sales, you want to understand that which product and which industry contributed to those deviations. You want to understand like what caused this deviation. And once you have happy with your configuration, go ahead and click on the Save button. And now you get this Run Now button. Click on this and it will start running the anomaly detection for you. This can take up to 10 minutes or something. So for demo purpose, I'll go back to our demo dashboard. And here you can see that there were 2 anomalies detected in deviation in sales for my 2 customers. And let's see that why did these deviations occur. So you click on Explore Anomalies. And here you can see that for each customer, you can see the deviations by date on the right side. And when you select that, you also see a summary of what happened on the left in natural language. So whether there was an increase in sales or decrease in sales, and what caused the deviation, which country contributed, which product contributed to the deviations.
And I'm guessing for all of these, the more data you have, the more historic data, the more accurate these can become, both for anomalies and for forecasting.
Yes, so there are some minimum data requirements. Like, for example, for forecast, you need probably 3 seasons or 2 seasons of data. We have it in our documentation, which you can read more about it. But yes, it's not just about how much data you have. It's also about the quality of your data. Someone once told me that if you put garbage, you will get garbage out of it, So you have to make sure that you have these, data-driven organization, those kind of things in place before you can do a good analytics on them. One important thing to note here is that you can also, in order to be proactive to business incidents, you can also subscribe to this deviation as an alerts. So you select the visual, click on this sign, and here you can select what severity of deviation you're interested in, whether higher or lower, and say okay. So now you will get these alerts in your email. So I have a screenshot. So this is how it will look like. It will also summarize all the deviations in the email. When you click on more details, it will take you to the contribution part to understand why. So yeah, so this is how easy it is to add the inbuilt machine learning capabilities in the QuickSight.
That's really cool. But let's say that I work for a company. We have data scientists that we're creating a bunch of machine learning models already. How can I then make use of those machine learning models that we're already creating in QuickSight?
Yes, that's a very good question. Before we actually go ahead and look at, how do you do that? Let's first see the challenge that you have today in bringing machine learning to your BI. So the typical steps that are involved in bringing machine learning predictions to BI requires a lot of machine learning expertise, and then manual work, and also this lengthy integration process involving different people like data scientists, data engineers, application developers, and so on. And this end-to-end process of getting value from data can really take from days to even weeks before you can get those predictions out from from your application to your business decision makers. And then it gets already very late. So with QuickSight, it's very much more easier because you do not have to create and manage your own inference pipeline in the BI. It has a native integration to Amazon's SageMaker, QuickSight, and thus it reduces the time it takes from having a pre-built model to getting the predictions out of it. And the way you do is, so it's three simple steps. As an author in QuickSight, you select the SageMaker model directly in the QuickSight's dataset layer when you're bringing in the dataset. And then you map the input and output fields for the model to generate the prediction from your dataset. And then every time the dataset is refreshed, it will automatically invoke the SageMaker model in batch transform mode, enrich your dataset with predictions, and then pull back this enriched data to QuickSight Spice Engine, which is then made available for visualization. Now, you might have heard me saying Spice Engine, right? And if you remember, I just spoke that you can use the data sources in two different ways, direct query or a Spice. One thing important to note here is that the model processing happens in the Spice Engine. And so it only applies to the data sets that are stored in the Spice. So if you have a direct query, it doesn't work on that. It needs to be in the Spice. So that's one important point to note here. And with this, let's go ahead and see how you can do that in QuickSight. But before that, let's come back to our scenario where you are a sales director of this fictitious company. And now you want to understand if the customer's software orders will be completed within SLA. And so that you can be proactive in avoiding the delay and providing a better customer experience in getting the products. So, of course, the first step is to have the machine learning model that can predict this SLA completion. So let me show you something. So in order to create this model, we will use a training data set, which you see here on and this training data set basically contains a list of past orders, let's say orders from 1 or 2 years back, with a field indicating whether the orders were completed within SLA or not. And you can see that these orders or these custom software orders are characterized by different dimensions: customer, country, city, region, and so on. So the SageMaker model has to make sense of all these different dimensions and then create a model out of it, which can predict whether my current orders that we have seen before, the SaaS sales data set, will be able to meet the SLA or not. Now, in order to create this model, I have used SageMaker Studio's autopilot feature. So using this feature, what you have to do is you just have to provide this training data set to SageMaker, and SageMaker will automatically create the best model to get the predictions out of your data based on this training data set that you provide. And this is really powerful capability that helps you unleash the power of machine learning without getting into nitty-gritty details. However, it's very amazing, but it takes quite a lot of time because SageMaker has to go through this like 250 models in order to select the best model for you. So what I have done is, for our demonstration purpose, I have already created this model in SageMaker. But if you wish to, create the model on your own, I have shared the links that you can use. It's our guided workshop for QuickSight SageMaker that you can follow. And also we have a YouTube video that you can, go through together and do a hands-on and build the model by yourself.
I'm sharing the link to the workshop in the chat right now, so check that out. Not now, but after the show, of course.
Of course. So now I want to show you the model. So this is the SageMaker console in AWS. I'm in Amazon SageMaker. And if you go to the left navigation menu, there is a menu called Models. And here you can see that I've already created a model for SLA prediction. And now let's see how you can bring that model into QuickSight. For that, we go back to the QuickSight console. Before you can upload the data set and do the model mapping, you have to make sure that your QuickSight administrator have enabled the QuickSight access to SageMaker. And the way you do is, as an administrator, you go here and you click on Manage QuickSight. Click on Security and Permissions. And this is where you can configure access so that QuickSight can access the data in the Amazon SageMaker. Here you can see I have already selected SageMaker. Otherwise, you click on Manage and you select that. Once you have done that, go back. We go ahead and upload our data set again. If you remember, I mentioned that you have to map the model in the QuickSight's data set layer. So let's go ahead and, of course, I can edit my existing data set, but I'll just upload it. The same data set that we have used for our machine learning insights. And edit settings. Now, this is where we have to augment our data with SageMaker. So you see an option here, click on that. Now I can see my model that I've already created in SageMaker. Go ahead and select that. And this is where you have to provide a JSON schema file specifying the input and output fields for prediction and settings for SageMaker to run the model. Let me show you how does that schema file look like. So here you can see that it's a CSV file. I have created a JSON file I've created. Of course, my data sets are type CSV because I've uploaded that. But in the input, these are the fields that will be passed to the model in order to generate prediction. And this is the output field that will be used to get the output from the prediction. And on the bottom here, this is where it selects the batch transform compute instance in order to run the model. So this is where I specify the size of my compute instance. So let's go ahead and upload this schema file. When I do that, you can see the different input fields and output fields. Next. This is where I can map the fields in the schema to my fields in the data set to pass the right data. Next. This is the output field. You can change the field name if you want to, put some description. Prepare data. Now you can see it says here that one field has been added to my data set. And also that the inference will start only after I save my data set. So on the left side, you can see that a new field has been added, and this is the model that creates that field for me. So let's go ahead and save and publish my data set. Now you can see there's a refresh in progress. So now what's happening is, since my data set is getting refreshed, it will refresh my data set, and then it will start a batch transformation job using the model to generate the prediction of this new field. You can see that refresh is in progress from here, but you can also see the batch transform jobs in the Amazon SageMaker console again. You scroll down to inference menu and you go to batch transform job. And this is where the batch transform job gets triggered. It will get triggered probably in 30 seconds or 1 minute or so. So yeah, but again, running the batch transform mode can take up to 5 minutes or something. So what I have done is like, I've already created a demo data set with this SageMaker model part. So what I'll go is, I will go back to my data sets. And here, this is the data set that I have already augmented with SageMaker model. So in order to visualize this prediction, let's go ahead and create an analysis or dashboard. And let's say I'll just use your table visualizations to see this new column for SLA. So let's say I want to know the order date, when the order was placed, order ID. And let's say then I want to know for which software product and which customer. And finally, let's say my prediction, will SLA be met? So here you can see that it shows me the prediction that was generated. So this is how you can actually bring your own. Oh, here you can see even the batch job has started. So,
Right.
So this is how you can bring your own model to further enhance your data in QuickSight.
And it looks like there are some delivery issues with this fictitious company.
Yeah, actually, I can sort, to make it look better. Just a second, maybe make it descending or something. Apply.
Much better.
Yeah, now it's much better.
That's great. Our fictitious company is doing well.
Yeah.
No, but I think this is really cool, and it's very powerful to be able to use your own machine learning models in this way. And that QuickSight, basically based on that JSON file, takes care of that. Not that much heavy lifting, but still it takes care of the heavy lifting of setting up that batch job and running the batch jobs when you want it to. And then basically just gives you the prediction in this case.
Yes. I mean, of course, like I said, one thing is like you will need your data pulled into Spice Engine to be able to do that. So that's something important to keep in mind. Again, I mean, there's like so much new features coming into QuickSight this year. So I would really ask everyone to keep up to date. So we keep on improving these features and machine learning, especially, part, because this is very much in demand. We say that it's augmented analytics, and enhanced analytics that people are looking for in the industry today.
I'm going to share the link to the QuickSight YouTube channel. I think that's a great way of keeping up with new things around QuickSight as well.
Yes. And but I want to ask you, Gunnar, if it has ever happened to you, because there's one more thing that I would just like to talk about. If you remember, you mentioned to me about asking questions in natural language and getting answers. So
yes.
So what do you mean by that? What do you want to?
I think what I mean by that, and what I hear customers talk about, is that you often create these dashboards. You have graphs, you have tables, you have a lot of data in there. But sometimes when you're looking at and when you're working with the data, you come up with other things you want to know around the data. So you just briefly want to know, what did the sales figures look like at the end of June, or whatever it might be. And that's a typical a way you ask a question in a meeting, maybe, or just when you want to get that data. And and that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm interested in.
Yes, that's a very good question. So we say that the future is self-service analytics. So this is also something that you'll hear a lot if you haven't heard till now, that how can you self-service your BI team? So what happens today when you don't find something on the dashboard? Typically, you would go to your BI team and say, hey, can you please pull that out for me? But of course, your BI team is already so busy. They have this huge backlog, right? And you might finally end up what you want, but probably a couple of days later or by the weekend. But, like you said, it's ad hoc and you want to know it now because, you was planning for it. So a lot of time, the challenges, like you said, we hear from our customers is that how can we enable our business users to get faster to the answers, or enable. And then another thing, even better, is that how we can enable our business users to self-service their question without having to depend on our BI team. And in order to help our customers solve this challenge, we introduced Amazon QuickSight Q. And this Amazon QuickSight Q is the capability that enables the users to ask questions in natural language and get instant answers with relevant visualizations. In fact, it is a deep learning capability of QuickSight, which is built using natural language processing capabilities. So the benefits that you get with this is that, first and foremost, it's a completely natural language search. That means that your business users don't have to learn new keywords or phrases. They can start asking questions in their everyday language. And the benefit of doing that is that they should be able to ask ad hoc questions that does not exist in the dashboards and reports and get instant answers. And also, since it's a natural language search, they should be able to ask questions about all their data. They don't have to select a specific dashboard or a data set to be able to ask questions. So, and it's very easy to get started, actually. Probably we will not be able to cover the entire demo of QuickSight Q on our session today, but what I can do is I can actually show you, let's see, our portal, which is Demo Central portal. So this is Demo Central portal is our publicly available portal where we have embedded a lot of demo dashboards for you to go and get a feel of different interactions of machine learning Q and all from reader's point of view. So let me just try to reload this page because my session is expired. So I'll show you how. So from here on the left side, basically, you select a specific kind of feature that you're interested in. So let's say I go to a queue feature. So when you basically create, so what you have to do is basically create a queue topic for your end users. So once you do that, and when you share that topic with your end users, they will be able to see something called as queue bar at the top of their dashboards, like here. And then what they get is a number of topics that has been created to ask question about. So topic is basically a subject area that your customers wants to ask question about. So they select a specific topic. In this case, let's say it's like a sales information, and they can just start writing questions like, for example, show me weekly sales for finance industry, let's say. So like you said, you want to be able to see like ad hoc questions, and here you get direct answers in just few seconds on how. So just go ahead, explore this from reader's point of view, and then use our workshops, the guided workshops, and a YouTube video channel. We also have video-based tutorials available, so you can follow along the video and create these dashboards on your own. So I would really encourage you, because this video will also be available on YouTube later. So I encourage you to build some dashboards on your own, take a screenshot and post it as a comment to us. Let's see, how, because I'm sure that now you can see how easy it is to add these insights to your dashboard and build this.
So,
and of course,
let me just ask you a question about Q there. You say that you create topics. So when you create a topic, do you choose the data sets, or how do you define that topic area?
Yeah, yes, definitely. What you can do is first of all, you have to enable the queue. Your QuickSight administrator has to enable the queue. Once you do that, you come to QuickSight console, and here you can see a topics menu. So basically you start creating a topic from this menu. And when you create a topic, basically this is where you give the name of the topic. Let's say SaaS sales. And then, like you mentioned, you attach the topic to data sets. So you can attach the single topic to multiple data sets. And then Q basically, it has this entire technique of natural language understanding. With this whole technique, it understands, like, what data set it should query in order to get the right answer for the end users.
So how important does naming conventions and so on become for this to work in optimal fashion?
Yeah, like I said, Q basically understands the everyday phrases. I'll tell you why. Because we partnered with hundreds of teams at Amazon in order to collect this real world volume of large data coming from different business functions in the enterprise, such as financing, marketing, HR, and so on. And then the Q's model was trained to understand those everyday phrases. So actually, you don't have to have the exact column names, but it can happen that you have your own company or a business specific keyword that you want to bring into the model to further improve the model. So that you can do as an author of the topic. You can add some semantics, some synonyms to further improve your model, and your end users can give feedback. I mean, if QuickSight gets something wrong, your end users can actually provide a feedback directly from here that, this is not the right answer that we are looking for, if you see at the bottom here. And then, you can basically report an issue, write what was the issue, and it will learn. Your author team can further improve the model, and it will also learn from this feedback.
That's great. Perfect. All right. So you mentioned the workshops. I've posted a bunch of links to workshops in the chat, so people can check them out on QuickSight, on the SageMaker integration, and the Q workshop as well. And there are probably others as well on the QuickSight topic. Is there anything else we want to leave the viewers with before we wrap up?
Yeah, one more thing which I would really encourage is to join the QuickSight community channel. You can, of course, find the link there, but you can also find the community here in the console. So you can basically ask questions or even find answers to the frequently asked questions in the community. And we have a lot of learning videos and also, tons of feature announcement that we do on this community channel. So I would really encourage to also do that. And please leave us some comment or feedback if you would like to get deep dive into something else in future. And definitely we are open to, take such kind of a session.
That's great. All right. So with that, we are approaching top of the hour. I pasted a link as well to a survey. So please help us. Let us know what you think about this session. And well, with that, Firdousi, I want to thank you very much for joining us today to talk about how we can use machine learning in our business intelligence with the help of QuickSight and with the help of the built-in machine learning functionality, and also expand it with the help of SageMaker models. I also want to thank all of the viewers for joining us today, and I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did hosting this show. So with that, Firdousi, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me, and have a wonderful day then. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.